Hello, this is Weird Corvid, and for this reading, it is for the full moon in Capricorn, and I believe that is almost like right after the New Year's, so like the third or something. So if you have any New Year's resolutions you want to share or that this reading imagery might inspire, please comment and share that. If you resonate with anything I have to say, or any of the imagery that you see, comment and share about that. And if you don't agree with it and you see something completely different, different storyline, different ideas altogether, then comment and share on that too. I really want to know what other people are seeing, if anything, if anybody's getting anything out of these readings for themselves, not just what I'm telling them. I would really like to know that stuff. So please comment and share if you are inspired to and resonate with any of it. The first thing I see off the bat is there's this little image in the east sector, in that sort of grayish blue area, right up almost where it's almost meeting the yellow, and it's sort of in that crook of where a lot of the bones are crossing and meeting each other. At first, what I saw was a little tiny, almost cartoonish phallic symbol with the two testes on either side. And then when I look closer at that, there's sort of like this white haze around it, and that white haze made it look more like either almost like a flaming skull shape or a dragon head shape, where now the testes look more like fangs or like the bits of the lip that might hang down. And the top of the phallus is now a nose hole, or the bridge of the nose. It's interesting too because in this area, it's sort of southeastern, but more towards the middle of the page, and very on the eastern side of that blue blob there. It almost seems like there's a lighter haze that looks sort of icy to me, like ice crystals that form on top of a water or on the outside of a bubble. If you've ever seen those videos of bubbles freezing and like the ice crystals sort of forming a layer around it. I see that, which kind of seems weird with it being so close to the south, with a dragon or flaming skull, but with sort of the icy. And now that I'm looking at it, with throwing in that icy bit, it could also be sort of like a Jack Frost type of skull, a little bit more sinister than that, but not like sinister, just a little bit more powerful. Or possibly maybe like, if we're going with the dragon, like an ice dragon type of idea. I've been seeing a lot lately in my YouTube feed and recommendations, a lot more people talking about dragons, and then when they're talking about like dragons coming back, or they're just resonating with dragons more lately, you get down to the basics, and a lot of the dragons that they're talking about are very like earth elemental based, or very primary energy based as being the energy for that dragon, but a lot more raw, a lot more primal sort of. Although then they talk about dragons being very intelligent. I guess that's sort of an interesting juxtaposition with intelligence and primal. You could definitely pick that apart a bit more, but that'll take a while. And then of course you start talking about like ice sort of energies and whatnot. I have never watched Frozen. I have heard that song a bajillion times on social media, and I get the basic idea of the story from all the secondhand storytelling of it and jokes of it and all the rest of it, but I've never actually watched it. But even though I've never actually watched it, that comes to mind a little bit too. So if Frozen, for whatever reason, resonates with you, maybe that has something to do with it. We're also in the sort of more eastern side of it, so maybe we're talking about weather. Either physical weather, and we're at that time of year, it's winter time, when I know at least here, if we don't get snow the rest of the year, we do get at least a little bit of snow in January, even if it's a warm year. So maybe this is alluding to that in some way. But we're also east tends for me to be a lot more about the psyche, about the mind and intelligence and working through stuff. So maybe it's alluding to the time of year of self-reflection. In, I don't know about you guys, but when we get snowed in, it's a lot of staying indoors. You don't go out and do a whole lot of stuff, which leads to a lot of, well, depends how you handle it. I personally self-reflect a lot in the wintertime. I want to go hibernate. I don't know about anybody else, but I definitely love to I just want to hibernate. It's not necessarily a depression. I just want to sleep. I want to sleep and curl up in bed, watch things that are intrigue my mind to the right point, not overstimulate, but just enough to reflect a little bit. So maybe this is maybe bringing up that sort of idea coming up, which would fit the time of year. The next thing I see is right up near the top, right under the N, I see a shape that looks similar to a nose, and using that as a branching off point, I'm seeing sort of the eyebrow shape at the peak of that nose, or the peak of the bridge of the nose. And then I'm noticing some lines that almost look like arms, sort of reaching towards where the mouth might be under that nose, and it's like they're holding a flute or something up to the face. One arm is a little higher than the other, so it almost gives the illusion to me of possibly bagpipes. I don't know if that has any significance to you at all whatsoever. And in going with that theme of thing, the broader shape of the hourglass shape of the whole print together almost seems like a robe or a jacket of some sort with very high shoulders and the head sort of bent down, and then the waist obviously being the waist, and then the jacket or robe or dress or whatever flaring out with all the design of the bones across it. So with that in mind, it's almost like the flute or the bagpipes or whatever the musical thing is almost making the bones and shapes dance around the garb or the dress or the jacket or whatever it is. And then since we have multiple colors here and they're all sort of wisping into each other, they almost seem like they're moving in flow with that music, with the bones. And like it's a solid shape, a very heavy garment of some sort, but it's also very ethereal and very flowy and very movie, with almost, I would say, like almost sort of a watery, misty sort of movement to it. And I'm thinking it would be going along with that sound, the music of this. And it's almost like, I know I normally read with like north, east, southwest, sort of picking apart things that might relate to those aspects. But as an overall image, the way that I've been kind of going through it here, it seems to be more one image, that whatever flow you have, you're utilizing it, you're putting it into motion, and everything's coming together around you. You're speaking your truth, singing your truth, creating your truth, sharing yourself in whatever way it is that you're sharing yourself, either privately or out openly, and it's bringing all the pieces together, but not just bringing them to you, making them flow together. Whatever aspects of your life that you have going on around you, they're starting to commune in a beneficial way, in a symbiotic way with each other. They're working with each other, and you are the one that is in control of that flow. They're kind of doing their own thing and working around you, but you're directing it with your energy, with your frequency, with your music, with your creativity, with your flow. It's like everything that you've been putting into place so far is now able to combine together and work together. It'd be interesting to know that if you made any New Year's resolutions, what were those New Year's resolutions? And how are they going, even though it's only a couple days out from that? Do you feel any new connection to them, or is there one or two of them, or that you feel like really drawn to more than most? Is there any that you're really excited about going forward with in the year? Do you have plans in place, or is it just like an energy about them that has you all amped up? And when I say amped up, like it's really about your flow here, because it could be a very fast-paced, almost sort of a whirlwind but still flowy type of musical song frequency going on here, or it could be a very soft, slow but gentle and delicate rhythm and song, almost meditative. It depends on the person that this is resonating with. Or it could fluctuate between the two depending on what is needed in that time, or your own natural rhythm, how that plays out. Whatever you have planned, or maybe this isn't even planned, maybe this is just you enacting your frequency, your natural flow, and everything is just doing its own thing around you according to that flow. It seems like the beginning of things really coming together, like whatever last little key you needed to put in place to make things magnetize and move and fall in line with who you are, not just what you want, but who you are. It seems like it's coming together. It seems like it's finally starting to pick up, like it's starting to manifest. It's starting to not just manifest, but just flow together. Whoever this is, if this is resonating with anyone, it seems freaking magical. And I hope it is resonating with someone, because this just seems, the more I look at it, the more less surface level and more just movement is in this. The more shifting it seems, but shifting in a good way, like shifting to match you, not you trying to match other things, everything in your life trying to match you instead of you chasing after everything else. Things are finally starting to fall in place for you and come together for you instead of you chasing them down. Like, I'm not saying you never have to put effort into building things or doing what you need to do, but the effort is falling way more in line with who you are naturally. And the more you lean into who you are naturally, who you are authentically, not who you think you should be, not trying to meet other people's ideas of who you should be, but innately who you are, not trying to be anyone else but yourself. Light and shadows, just yourself, accepting of it all, and in your own rhythm. The more you get into that headspace, the more you do that, the more things are going to start. I feel like a new age sort of bumper sticker here. Being authentic is going to bring you all the manifestations you want. And I don't know if it's necessarily going to bring you all the manifestations you want, but it's going to bring you all the things that flow with your energy better. Things are just going to start to click into place. And maybe you're going to realize that some of the things that aren't working for you haven't or aren't working for you for a reason. Maybe you're going to find new aspects of yourself the more you lean into yourself that you actually like, or you find that you like the way they work with you better. Anyways, let's look at the cards. On the west side of the page, I have past influences, and on the east side of the page, I have current influences for this time period. We're working with the Halloween Oracle deck and the Messenger Oracle deck. And the first card on the past influences is Eternal Love. And it says, love is love is love, and it transcends physical death. You have the two skeletons holding hands in the grave with a little heart shape and some roots around them. To me, this kind of is speaking, because we're talking about moving into your more authentic self, that maybe some of the reasons you weren't fully in your full authentic self before was because of the people, like people pleasing and catering to the people you love because you love them. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you start to put your own needs to the side, or you start hiding aspects of yourself because they rub other people the wrong way, or even maybe they don't rub the other people the wrong way, but you think they might rub other people the wrong way, I kind of feel like that might be part of this. The other thing is the relationship you have to yourself, not to like to the aspects of yourself that you like and to the aspects of yourself that you don't maybe like, but you have to find a way to accept them. And maybe that was what you're working on before this time period. I don't know, before things start to come together for you. I've read the little blurb for this before, but let's read it again. Maybe something will pop out that didn't really pop out the last time. Should you choose this card, you are being reminded that love is the most powerful force in the universe. It is more powerful than death itself. Love lingers, it leaves its own legacy, and we should be aware of this every day that we live. For those that are ready for and desiring of a partner, it also indicates a significant lover is close at hand and ready to open up to this new experience. What I got from that last line is that maybe that new quote-unquote lover is actually yourself, or aspects of yourself. Or also, like we were talking about, the more you lean into your own flow, your own authentic self, your own natural self, the more you're going to draw in things that match that energy. Maybe if you've been having trouble finding your person or people, like it doesn't have to be a actual like boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, lover. It could be a best friend or something along those lines. Someone you drive with. It's going to draw in more people that resonate with you in your natural frequency. The more you align with your natural frequency, your own self, it could draw in not just things that you need to happen and energies that you need to happen in your life, but people as well. So that is a possibility that these people were maybe held off in your life a little bit, or waiting, even though they may or may not know you, for you to get to a spot where you can interact with them in the best possible way, in a very harmonious way. Maybe whatever reason you weren't able to be quite as harmonious as you would be able to be now, or once you're able to sort of connect with that inner flow, that inner frequency that is innately yours. The other past influence card is the blue winged cat, and it says, know you belong. And again, if we're talking about people we care about, like family members or partners or whoever, that we are people pleasing for because we care about them. You belong in that group, that family group, but maybe you need to fully express who you are, and you will still belong. Like that fear that you might drive off some people or put them off the wrong way is they would tell you that you still belong. You're still you. We still love you. And if they don't resonate with who you are when you feel you're being authentic, then as harsh as it might be, they might not be your person or your people. They might not be your inner group of people, maybe a little bit further out, if at all, in your group of people you deal with. Or if we're talking about bringing in people that have been waiting for you to get to your state that they would be most harmonious with you. That what do they call that? Like a soul tribe or something like that. Maybe that's where you belong, but you haven't quite got there yet according to the past influences, and you're working on this harmonious with yourself. That's not to say that you should push for this harmony with your own innate self simply to match up with some other people. It should be for your own sake. You can do this on your own and not need outside influences, because you're going to be your own energy. You're going to be your own validation. You're going to be your own creativity, and really tap into that. And then whatever is meant for you will find its way to you a lot easier anyway. As far as the current influences, we have the jack-o'-lantern, which says protection. What's interesting with this one is that right now I have these sort of mood lights on in the room that are, because it's we're near the holidays and they are flashing red, green, white. And on this card, it makes the light part of the, like the lit up part of the pumpkin look like it's flashing different, like between like a dark red and then a whiter yellow in the inside the pumpkin. It makes it look like the pumpkin's actually glowing with a candle inside. And then the other card that's right beneath it for current influences is this, I call it a fire horse, and the card is called Know Your Power. So it's a very fiery side of the cards on the current influences. And the other side, on the west side, on the past influences, the cards seem a lot more calm, a lot more mellow. So I'm assuming that the past influences, it was a very much a time for inner reflection, a time for figuring yourself out, taking account of your own inner world. And for current influences, we're getting a little bit more fire there. We're getting a little bit more oomph there. A lot is really resonating with like an internal fire, an internal glow, an internal resonance. Anyways, let's see what the blurb on that card is. Know that you are protected and that you are capable of creating the life that you want, and that the universe supports you in this should Jack shine his light upon. Boundaries are important to teach people how to treat us, and drawing this card indicates that you may wish to renew the ones that you have, or to establish new ones. Well, if we're talking about having relationships before that you're kind of making yourself small for to try and keep them, now in your power, you are protected, you are held, you are backed up, whether spiritually or by people. And it's your boundaries that are really going to hold that in place. And even if it was you that was putting this fear in yourself of and making yourself small, the new boundaries that you have is how they say you teach people how to treat you, and that is through your boundaries or lack of boundaries. But you also, through your boundaries with other people, you teach yourself how to treat you. You teach yourself how to trust yourself again, and to know your self-worth through the boundaries that you have. So I feel like that's really speaking to something here. It's almost like that sort of swirling garment of frequency that's going along to that sound is the light that's inside that pumpkin, that's glowing that pumpkin from inside out. I know there's another card in the Halloween Oracle that's called like the lantern or something, and it's kind of similar to the pumpkin, similar ideas that you're protected, sort of, but more so that light is at the window to call in loved ones or people that recognize your light. I kind of feel this is the same. It's that protection energy against anyone that is just not right for you, who's not going to respect your boundary. But it's also the light, for your inner light, calling in energies and people that would respect your boundaries, that do respect your innate energy, your flow, the essence of who you are, who really vibe with you. Yeah, so let's read the next card, which is Know Your Power. I've also read this card, I think, on here before, but who knows, maybe something else will be picked out of the blurb. You have choice in all things. Your power is born of that freedom to choose, but with that freedom comes the burden of responsibility. To know your power, you must accept responsibility for your part in all that you experience, even when you allow another to impose their choice or will upon you. You have the power to choose if you wear a saddle or a bridle, or if another will ride upon your back. Own your power, know it, and see it in all of your choices and action. Again, that's totally speaking along the lines of boundaries and what your own personal boundaries are, how you teach people to treat you, and how you share your energy with them. Like, you can support another person and be totally the engine behind them that motivates them and pushes them forward and helps them out. Or you could be the quiet motivation behind them that just it gives them a little bit of encouragement to do things for themselves. Or if they don't respect you at all, then you don't have to support them in any way, shape, or form, and they don't get any of your power. It's very much enforcing your boundaries and knowing how much to give and when to give, and respecting yourself. If you respect yourself, other people respect yourself. It's not selfish to put your needs before other people's wants. It's it's not selfish to keep your energy for yourself and use it when you want to use it, not when other people want to use it. Other people need to know that that energy is for you, not them, and that you owe them nothing. But if you're respectful of each other, it's a lot easier to get the help they need if you want to give it. Also, the flowiness of the mane just makes me think again of like your own innate power and flow and resonance. If you really sink into that, yes, it's going to draw in the people that are right for you and the energies that are right for you and the situations that are right for you. But the more you sink into it, the more it's going to just naturally, hopefully, repel people and situations and things that aren't good for you. And the more they're not good for you, the more they're going to be repelled away because you're in your own natural strength, your own natural flow, instead of trying to be something that you're not or that you think you should be, that draws in the wrong energy because it's meant for something else, someone else, not you. It just doesn't match up right. I'd like to say it almost like it matches up like Lego blocks, but that is way too rigid for this. This is very flowy. It's more like music and rhythm, which can shift and change as you shift and change. It's your song, the song that your existence creates, if that makes sense. It's sounding very woo-woo, I know, but that's definitely sort of the vibe I'm getting from this print. Anyways, it's a very strong reading. It's a good reading, and I hope many people it resonates with, because it would be very nice to know that there's lots of you out there that are getting into your own rhythm, your own flow, and holding that up. Not necessarily enforcing it, but maybe enforcing it, but backing up yourself and holding that space for yourself and your own rhythm, your own music, and calling in the things that are meant for you, and naturally repelling the things that are not meant for you. Creating your own sacred space within yourself. I'm also getting the idea that you should like creating an altar for an internal altar for yourself through frequency and resonancy, through singing to your own song, to your own rhythm. There are many ways to express this, and you know what? If whatever ways that you express your own natural flow, your own natural rhythm, your own natural frequency, I would love to hear that in the comments too. It's always interesting to hear how different people express themselves and see things and experience things. So yeah, if you resonated with any of this, please leave a comment. If you don't resonate with anything in this and you got your own ideas from it, please leave a comment and share. I'd love to hear all different sides of it. But for now, I hope your new year is better than last year, and that's it for now.